Hello and welcome to Cooking with Ash. Today we're going to be making spaghetti bolognese my way. So it's different to how you've probably made it previously, but it's basic. It's meat, it's onion, it's garlic, it's dogs. But it's pretty basic. You only need a few ingredients and a few spices, and it's pretty easy to put together. So we use half a kilo of mince to start with, 1 onion, minced garlic, a bit of tomato paste, some stock. I use whatever stock we've got at the time. Today I'm using beef, but I've used vegetable and chicken before as well. A tin tomatoes, which I've actually made using a canning site, so we've got our own tin tomatoes that I'll show at another time, and a few spices. I use different spices each time I do it, but the stock ones I always use, obviously, are salt and pepper. Smoked paprika I always use. A little bit of cayenne pepper, even though it's super hot, so you have to be very sparing with how much you put in. I like using fennel seeds. It adds a bit of a licoricey, aniseedy kind of flavour to it. And I've got Italian herbs as well, but you can just sort of, if you don't have Italian herbs, you can just put in a bit of oregano, I put in a bit of cumin as well, or cumin. I put in a bit of tomato sauce. So that's it. First things first, we have to cook up the onion and the garlic. So we have to cut our onion first. So I put in a bit of olive oil. I'm probably pretty generous with it. A good probably couple of tablespoons I've put in there. Once that's heated up in a hot pan, put in the onion. Just want to sort of saute that, I guess you'd say. Move it around, fry it, whatever you want to call it. Put in the garlic as well. You could say probably 2 cloves, but I put in probably 2 of those, which realistically is probably about 4 or 5 cloves. But I like garlic, so it's okay. You put that in, stir it through. So you've got the garlic and the onion cooking together. You don't want the onion to start browning, just starting to go a little bit translucent. That's about right. It's a couple of minutes, probably about 2 minutes. Once you've got that, you're ready to put in your mince. So break your mince up. You've got about half a kilo of mince here. Break it all up, turn it around, mix it in with the onion and the garlic. And you're going to do this for probably about 3 or 4 minutes. You just want to brown the onion basically. You don't want it to cook too much because it's going to have to simmer later on. But just start browning it up and mixing it in with the onion and garlic so the flavour starts going through all the meat. So I'm using beef mince here, but this is good with, if you want to just go crazy. With chicken mince as well, with turkey mince it's good also. Lamb mince is awesome. Mince basically, that's what I'm saying. So that will do. So now you're going to put in the tomato paste. I'd say 2 tablespoons, but that's generous, it's probably 3 or 4. Put in about a tablespoon of tomato sauce. You can skip that bit if you want, I just like it. And you're going to put in your tin tomatoes as well. So this is, like I said before, I've made my own, but this is the equivalent essentially of 1 400ml can of tin tomatoes, diced tomatoes. I usually use diced, but you can use whole, etc. It doesn't matter. And now you're going to mix this all together. So I generally keep stirring. I don't know that you have to necessarily, but mix it all up like that. Just make it nice and mixed. Then I'll put in my stock. I've got 1 cup of stock here. Today I'm using beef stock, but chicken and vegetable works good too. Give that a bit of a mix. In the meantime, also on the back burner, I've got a pot of water boiling. That's for the spaghetti. That's all in there. Now we need to add spices. I don't really measure stuff out. It's just a matter of what you like. So this is smoked paprika I'm putting in here. That's probably about a tablespoon. Cayenne pepper. Be super sparing with this because it's really hot. So maybe like half a teaspoon. Maybe even that's probably about a 1/4 teaspoon. That's probably enough. It gives it a little bit of kick. If you put in too much, it makes it a bit hard to eat. Italian herbs, again, you can put in, this is really just a combination of dried rosemary and dried oregano. So you can just put in, however, that's probably about a tablespoon. And I like to put in fennel seeds as well. Normally I put in much more than that, but we're out of fennel seeds, but that's probably about half a tablespoon. I normally put in a good 1 to 2 tablespoons of fennel seeds. And we also, of course, want salt and pepper. I put in a fair bit of salt, again it's personal taste. So this is probably the equivalent of about probably 2 teaspoons. And then about a teaspoon of black pepper. Mix it all up. And if you've timed it well, which just by fluke I have, at about this time your water's starting to boil as well. So you want this to simmer for probably about 10 to 15 minutes. It's a bit, you can see it's a bit fairly liquidy, a bit runny. So you stir that every couple of minutes, keep an eye on it so it doesn't stick and burn. But you just want this to simmer gently for probably about 10 to 15 minutes. And that liquid will gradually reduce down and it'll become much thicker. At the exact same time now, I'm just going to put in it's actually fettuccine, it's egg fettuccine, but spaghetti normally. So about 3 of those. Again, it doesn't matter. Put a bit of salt in the water. A little bit of salt. I also put in a little bit of olive oil just to stop everything from sticking together. And that'll take about 15 minutes. Occasionally stir that pasta as well so it doesn't all stick and clump together. Now you can see that simmering. I might turn that down a bit. You don't want it to cook too high. Just turning that down a smidge. And so just give that a stir every now and again, and both of those should be ready at about the same time. So you're just going to keep an eye on both, stir both every couple of minutes. Sort of scrape the sides of the pot to get everything in there. And in about 15 minutes you'll have spaghetti bolognese. It's very exciting. And we are done. We've got our pasta here. Like I said, I've used fettuccine, but we'll call it spaghetti bolognese. And we've got our actual bolognese here, all good to go. So now we're just going to dish up. So I'm just going to grab a spin of that, plonk it on, put it on like that, and then it's going to be, I should probably get a spoon for that. And then we just plonk on how much sort of bolognese you want. Just going to move this across because it's quite hot. There we go. And that's it. Mix that up and you're done. Sorted.